What I asked Royal Enfield is, what was the intent for the larger engine? They said we wanted it to have a nice balance of performance, less clatter than before and quieter than before. But the air-cooled thing, the simpler two-valve setup were all parts of the design itself. They didn't want to make this motorcycle more complicated. And because of which, what they said is, we grew the engine, bottom, crankcase is the same, gearbox is roughly the same. Therefore, we had to redo the valve train again. So the top of the engine effectively is brand new. It's a larger engine than before, produces a little bit more performance, further enhanced by the lowering of the gearing. And sixth gear, so that highway performance is better. And the highway theme is a theme for this motorcycle, because the only other significant change they made is that the rear subframe, which is the part that the seats sit on, that looks exactly the same as before, but is stronger than before, because they said, we know you're going to want to put a top box on it or side panniers on it or whatever. We've accounted for it.
Payload has gone up 5-10 kilos, something like that. New subframe. Wheels are exactly the same. Brakes are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Suspension?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
And this always had reasonably long travel suspension. So for your reference, 185 millimeters of wheel travel at both ends. So it doesn't have as much travel as the Himalayan, for example, 411 or 450, but it has more than enough to be called genuine long-term travel suspension.
Any reason as to why this happened now?
So the Scram 440 story actually begins in a very poor place, because it comes out, it reaches a few media units, and you will find stories, I'm going to say 7 months ago.
No, I mean, why this specification changed to the 411, to the 440? Why did it happen now?
Royal Enfield says that there is a group of people who are clearly, according to them, commercially a viable group of people who don't want the liquid cooled 450 complication. And the 450s are expensive, right? Because the Gorilla is the cheap 450 in the group, as it were. And even that is 35,000 rupees more. The Himalayan is quite a bit more than that. So to them, a Scram 450 would have to sit above the Gorilla, which means you'll have to have, if the 440 exists and the 450 also exists, you're saying 220-ish will have the 440. 255-ish will have the 400X, which is the big rival in this group. And up at that point is the Gorilla. So the 450 range starts there. Then you add another 20,000-30,000 rupees to get a Scram 450. Now you got a 3 lakh rupee motorcycle. And then above that is the Himalayan, which is another 30,000-40,000 rupees on top.
Actually, I was coming at from another angle as to why didn't they make the 440 in the first place, or bring it to the Himalayan as well when the Himalayan was around as the 411? Because this engine, sorry, I did ride it. It's so good. I mean, you just.
Yes, but if you were extrapolating from the 411 as a product planner, given how many issues the 411 had and how long it took for Royal Enfield to stabilize it, I wouldn't want to persist with the engine. And honestly, when I heard that they were building a 440cc engine, I was not thrilled. And my first reaction was, oh my God, why?
Same here. But this spec seems to be like this sweet spot. Like, I just imagine if the Himalayan had come with this tune of the engine.
I don't think that that is a good way to put it, because you're imagining the smoothness after riding it, and they can't imagine the smoothness yet.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this effectively, like what they're talking about the highway and all of that. I mean, I've not ridden it on the highway, but it just like, okay, what I can say is that it felt, now you said that the bore is bigger. So like where you have the Himalayans, that long stroke kind of clattery feel.
There's no clatter.
Yeah, there's no clatter in this. That easiness at low revs remains, but still the ability to pull cleanly is there. So it just feels like such a nice and flexible.
Yeah, engine. So effectively it's a person who went to the gym and grew larger and stronger, but they're doing the same work. So all the work just feels simpler. And the 6 gears job simply, and it's literally like a one-track mind job, is you could get to 90 on the highway and sit at reasonable amount of peace with whatever the 411 gave you as peace. 440 has more peace generally, and now the peace lasts a little bit longer, so you can sit on the highway at 105, 110 and feel like we're barely working. Solved.
Nice.
Solved.
That's what.
And don't you guys start about a Himalayan 440?
I'm saying that should have been in the first place. I mean, imagine, I'm thinking like the Himalayan was an iconic bike for Royal Enfield. It was an iconic bike for us. And when you think of this engine in that package, you just
dude, that would have been epic. The story of the Himalayan, the global trajectory of the Himalayan would have been something different.
So different.
Having launched the Himalayan 450, Royal Enfield went back and for some reason took their 411 and made a larger engine out of it and stuck it in a Scram. Was that a good idea? The answers are very surprising. You can check out the latest episode of MotorInc First on the MotorInc app. It's completely free to watch. The app is free to download and signing up is super simple.